Hello friends, have you ever thought about how small changes can bring a big turning point in your life? In today's video, we will talk about a book that will teach you how small habits can change your life. I'm talking about James Clear's famous book Atomic Habits, which has become the favorite of millions of people around the world. This book explains to us that to achieve any big goal, you do not need a big start. Rather, small and consistent habits change the real game. Whether you want to improve your health, move forward in your career, or improve your personal life, this book is for everyone. You will learn how to build good habits and how to get rid of bad habits, why small habits are the basis of big success, and the ways by which you can maintain your habits for a long time. So if you also want to bring positive changes in your life and improve your daily routine, then definitely watch this video till the end. Let's start by understanding this wonderful journey of atomic habits and take the first step towards a better and successful life. The surprising power of atomic habits. Just think about what tasks you do every day. Now think about why you do those tasks, and if you don't do them, how will you face problems? Most of us have a habit of brushing our teeth after waking up in the morning. If you don't brush for 2 days, your mouth will smell bad and you won't like it. In other words, brushing gives you a reward to get which you repeat that task every day. To prove this, some psychologists conducted an experiment on a monkey. They locked the monkey in a cage and placed a lever and a computer in front of it. When red lines were displayed on the computer and the lever was pulled afterwards, the monkey would get fruit to eat. The monkey understood this over time, and then it started looking intently at the screen. As soon as it saw the red lines, it would pull the lever and get fruit to eat. In this way, to get a reward, it kept doing that work again and again. We need a why to do any work, which tells us that it is time to do that work. For example, some people resort to alcohol to get rid of their stress. Whenever they are stressed, this is their cue that tells them it is time to drink alcohol. After this, we get a reward for doing every task, to get which we keep doing that task again and again. When that person gets relief after drinking alcohol, that person remembers alcohol again after going into stress. In this way, almost every habit follows this pattern. There are some bad habits too, adopting which gives us comfort or pleasure for some time. But in the long run, they are harmful to us. But still, we keep doing those tasks to get the reward from those tasks. We cannot stop ourselves from doing so. Would you believe that small changes can bring big miracles in your life? Let me tell you a story that proves this. In the year 2003, the fortunes of British cycling completely changed. Since 1908, British cycling had won only one gold medal in the Olympics. In 110 years, no British rider had won the Tour de France. Their performance was so bad that big bike manufacturers hesitated to sell them their bikes because they feared that their reputation would be damaged. But everything changed when the governing body of British cycling hired Dave Brailsford. Dave's approach was completely different from other coaches. His strategy was the aggregation of marginal gains, meaning looking for scope for improvement in every small thing. Dave made small changes such as redesigning the riders' seats to make them more comfortable, wearing electrically heated overshorts to maintain the ideal muscle temperature, and rubbing alcohol on the tires to increase their grip. These small improvements had a big impact. Their team swept the 2008 Beijing Olympics and won a flurry of gold medals. Now think about how this happened. Such great success from small changes. Actually, our habits also work in the same way. Often, we ignore a 1% improvement. But if you improve by just 1% every day, you can become 27 times better in a year. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Initially, you will not see the change, but as time passes, its effect becomes big. However, the same applies to bad habits. Suppose you ate an unhealthy meal today. This will not increase your weight immediately. But if this habit is repeated daily, its toxic results will definitely be visible in the long run. Therefore, your habits today determine whether you are moving in the right direction or not. And this is the most important message of Atomic Habits. Small habits are the foundation of big successes. How your key habits shape your identity. Have you ever wondered why it is so difficult to quit bad habits, but equally difficult to adopt good habits? We start with good intentions a million times but often fail. There are two main reasons for this. 1, we try to change the wrong things. 2, our method is not correct. Most people, when starting a change, focus on what they want to achieve. This is called outcome-based habits. But the real change comes when you focus on identity-based habits, that is, focus on who you want to become. Suppose two people want to quit smoking. When the first person is offered a cigarette, he says, "No, thank you, I'm trying to quit smoking." This sounds right, but if you look at the thinking behind it, he still considers himself a smoker who is trying to quit. When the second person is offered a cigarette, he says, "No, thank you, I don't smoke." There is a small difference in the answers of both, but this difference changes their identity. For the first person, the change is a temporary effort, while the second person considers himself a new person. Most people, when they want to improve their lives, do not work on their identity. But the truth is that what you feel proud of motivates you to adopt new habits. Therefore, you have to decide who you want to become. When you make this decision, then prove that identity again and again by making small changes in your habits. Remember, every time you adopt a good habit, you get closer to that new identity. Every time you quit a bad habit, you move away from your old version. Small changes are the beginning of big transformations. So think about who you want to become and take a step today. How to build better habits in simple steps. In 1888, a famous psychologist, Edward Thorndike, conducted an experiment that helped explain how our habits are formed and how they affect our behavior. Thorndike was interested in studying animal behavior, which is why he conducted an experiment with cats. He placed the cats in a puzzle box that had a door. This door would only open when the cat pressed a lever or pulled a cord. Initially, the cat struggled to get out of the box, going to the corner, sniffing, and clawing. But after some trials, they learned that pressing the lever opened the door. Repeated practice perfected their behavior. Thorndike concluded that behavior that gives satisfactory results is repeated again and again, and behavior that does not give favorable results is abandoned. This principle applies to our habits. The process of forming habits can be divided into 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. 1. Cue. This triggers your brain to start a behavior. 2. Craving. This is a motivational force that creates a desire for that reward in your brain. 3. Response. This is the action you take to fulfill that craving. 4. Reward. This is the ultimate goal of that habit, the feeling of satisfaction and learning. If even one of these steps is weak, it becomes difficult to form a habit. The man who didn't look right. This is the story of a paramedic woman who saved her father-in-law's life. At a family gathering, she noticed that her father-in-law didn't look well. She immediately advised him to go to the hospital. There, it was found that one of his main arteries was blocked, and timely treatment saved his life. This story shows that our brain works like a prediction machine. It notices small things and recognizes patterns. People like paramedics start to understand the signs of a heart attack through repeated practice. Similarly, when you practice regularly, your brain also starts to recognize the cues that predict outcomes and results. Pay attention to your existing habits. Before adopting new habits, analyze your old habits. This can be challenging because old habits have become automatic. You will have to make a list of your daily habits. Scan every habit and ask yourself whether this habit is good, bad, or neutral. Remember, there is no need to change anything yet, just accept what you do. Do not blame yourself, nor praise yourself for any success. Behavior change always starts with awareness. When you recognize your habits, only then are you ready to improve them. Start small, but keep trying consistently. These habits will build your future. The best way to start a new habit. Have you ever wondered why it seems so difficult to start a new habit? Today we will understand the answer to this question from an interesting research. In 2001, some researchers in Great Britain conducted a study on 248 people. The purpose of this study was to find out how better exercise habits can be formed. This research was divided into 3 different groups. First group, control group. This group was only asked to track how often they exercised. Second group, motivation group. This group was asked to track their exercise as well as read some books on exercise. Apart from this, they were also told that working out reduces the risk of coronary heart disease and improves heart health. Third group, planning group. This group was given the same motivation as the second group, but along with this, they were also asked to make a plan about when and where they would exercise. They were asked to write a precise statement like, "Next week I will do at least 20 minutes of hard exercise on this day, at this time, and at this place." In the first and second groups, 35% and 33% of people, respectively, worked out at least once a week. But 81% of people in the third group worked out at least once every week. This change occurred only because the third group prepared a clear and precise plan. Researchers call this implementation intentions. This is a plan that decides in advance when and where you will take action. Many people think that they lack the motivation to start a new habit, but the truth is that they are not clear about their goals. When and where to take action is not obvious. The first rule of behavior is to make it obvious. When you prepare clear cues for your habits and design a precise plan, you are more successful in adopting that habit. So if you want to start a new habit, first make it clear and practical. Have the answer for when and where ready in advance. This is the easiest and most effective way to start a new habit. Motivation is overrated. The environment often matters more. Have you ever thought that your habits depend not only on your intentions and motivation, but also on your surrounding environment? An interesting story proves this. At Massachusetts General Hospital in Boston, a primary care physician, Dr. Ann Thorndike, thought that she could improve the eating habits of doctors and nurses without any motivational lectures or discounts. Dr. Ann, along with her team, started a 6-month study to change the choice architecture. First, they made changes to the drinks arrangement in the cafeteria. Earlier, the refrigerator near the cash register only had soda bottles. They started keeping water bottles along with soda. Not only this, but they also made water available at different food stations in the room. The interesting thing is that soda was still present in the cafeteria, but now water was easily available everywhere. As a result, within 3 months, soda sales decreased by 11.4%, and water sales increased by 25.8%. They applied the same process to the food options in the cafeteria, and similar results were seen there as well. The special thing is that no one even noticed these changes. This shows that we often take what is in front of us, whether we need it or not. For example, if you go to the kitchen and there is a plate of cookies kept there, there is a possibility that you will eat them. You don't need to be hungry, but just seeing the cookies makes you want to eat them. Habits are also formed in the same way. Your habits often depend on where you are and what cues are present in front of you. The invisible effect of the environment on human behavior is always there. No matter how different your personality is, your environment promotes certain actions. Unfortunately, many times our environment prevents us from adopting some habits because it does not provide the necessary cues to trigger that habit. If you want to make a new habit a part of your life, design your environment in such a way that it is full of cues that trigger that habit. Remember, motivation is a start, but the right environment guarantees your success. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. It was the summer of 1830. Victor Hugo, a famous French writer, was struggling with an impossible deadline. He had promised his publisher 12 months ago that he would write a new book, but a year had passed, and instead of working on it, he remained entangled in other projects. When the publisher understood this, he became furious. He warned Hugo and gave him a new and strict deadline. Now he had only 6 months left. He had to finish his book by February 1831 at all costs. Now the question was, how would Hugo meet this deadline? Victor Hugo adopted a unique method for this. He gave all his clothes to his assistant and gave strict instructions to lock them away. After this, Hugo had no clothes left to go out. Now he had no option but to sit at home and write the book. Throughout the fall and winter season of 1830, he wrote with full hard work and dedication. As a result, his book, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, was published 2 weeks before the deadline, on January 14th, 1831. The secret to adopting good habits is not just making them easy, but also making bad habits difficult. If you want to firmly adopt your good habits, create an environment around you that inspires you to stick to those habits. And if you want to avoid bad habits, make it difficult to reach them. Remember, good habits are formed when they are easy and inevitable, and bad habits are broken when they are made impossible. So next time when you are struggling with a deadline or a habit, definitely remember this method of Victor Hugo. You, too, can reach your destination by changing your circumstances. How to stick with good habits every day. Do you know what is the simplest and most effective way to maintain your good habits for a long time? Let's start with the inspiring story of Benjamin Franklin. When Benjamin Franklin was in his 20s, he kept a small booklet with him every day. In this booklet, he had listed his 13 personal good habits and behaviors. One of these goals was, lose no time, meaning, don't waste time, always be doing something useful. At the end of each day, Franklin would open his booklet and assess his progress. He would see which habits he had followed and on which ones improvement was needed. This was his own habit tracker. An easy and effective way to track habits is habit tracking. Why is habit tracking so effective? 1. It makes habits clear and obvious. Every time you open your habit list, your goals are in front of you. It reminds you what to do and how to do it. 2. It makes habits fun and enjoyable. When you track your progress, it motivates you. Progress itself is the most powerful motivation. Crossing off a task from a to-do list or seeing your progress actually feels satisfying. 3. It makes habits satisfying. Every time you take a step towards your goal, it motivates you to do more. This process gives the joy of improving oneself. If you want to maintain your good habits, start creating a habit tracker. This can be a notebook, an app, or even a simple chart. Make a list of your habits, record your efforts every day, focus on small improvements, and enjoy your progress. Habit tracking not only helps you reach your goals, but it also makes your journey satisfying and fun. Cardinal rule of behavior change. When an experience is satisfying, we repeat that behavior again and again. This is completely logical. Even small joys signal to our brain that this is good. Do it again. Take a simple example: chewing gum. Early chewing gums had no flavor. They were just tasteless, resinous substances with no taste. But flavor was added in 1811, which made chewing gum popular. The reason is that when an experience is not fun, you don't feel like repeating it. The cardinal rule says that an experience with a reward is repeated, and an experience with punishment is avoided. But this rule is a bit tricky. Humans are not only in search of satisfaction, but also want immediate satisfaction. All habits have different outcomes over time, and these outcomes are often confusing. Bad habits give pleasure in the initial times, but their effect is bad in the long run. Good habits seem difficult in the beginning, but they provide benefits over time. Immediate reward versus future reward. We humans often prefer immediate reward over future reward. This is the reason why people spend most of their time on instant pleasure. But the real thing is that when we talk about immediate reward, it is the end of behavior. If you want to end a bad habit, you have to make it unsatisfying. When change becomes fun and enjoyable, it becomes easier to adopt. Therefore, when you try to improve your habits, make sure that good habits feel satisfying. Bad habits feel unsatisfying and inconvenient. Remember, change is not easy until it is enjoyable. Friends, the book Atomic Habits teaches us that real change comes not from big decisions or heavy efforts, but from small habits. These small habits together determine the direction of our life over time. James Clear has explained to us the power of small improvements. Try to become 1% better every day. These small steps together bring big changes. The importance of identity. Connect your identity with new habits. To become a better person, start seeing yourself in that form. 4 rules. Use clarity, attraction, simplicity, and satisfaction to build good habits and break bad habits. The effect of the environment. Change your surrounding environment to ensure your success. The right environment helps in sustaining habits. Adopt long-term thinking. Good habits give excellent results over time, while bad habits give you short-term pleasure but harm you in the long run. Atomic Habits is not just a book, but it is a guide that tells you the right way to bring change in your life. It teaches us that the secret of success lies not in big plans but in small habits. Pay attention to your small decisions and everyday tasks. Every big change starts with a small step. Start a new habit in your life today and see how it makes you a better person over time. If this conclusion inspires you, then definitely share it with your friends. Remember, your small habits are the foundation of your big dreams. Thank you.